In today's video, we are going to be discussing the top 5 things you need to know if you're moving to the state of Pennsylvania. Now, here at the Living in Central PA team, if you watch our videos, you might have become accustomed to us as the experts in central Pennsylvania, and that's certainly true. But remember, we are licensed in the entire state. So whether it's the westernmost part, easternmost, northernmost, or southernmost, we have a vast network of real estate professionals that we can put you in touch with if we're not able to directly service you in those areas. Again, these are the top 5 things that you need to consider if you are moving to the great state of Pennsylvania. Let's go.
So let's step right into the cost of living here in Pennsylvania. This is going to be a main consideration for most if you're moving to the state, actually if you're moving anywhere in the United States. So we got a lot of information in this section, so you might want to take some notes. Now, on a cost of living level, Pennsylvania is about the midway point. According to the 2022 Merit Cost of Living Index, Pennsylvania is in the 27th position, meaning it's slightly more expensive than some and slightly less expensive than others. If you're looking to live in the Northeast, though, Pennsylvania may just be your best bet. By the same set of data, neighboring New York is surprisingly 48th on the list, and New Jersey is in 38th place. When it comes to housing costs in Pennsylvania, the average housing cost in Pennsylvania is between $872 and $1,259 per month. When it comes to the cost of keeping a roof over your head, Pennsylvania is doing pretty well on a national level. Now, I usually don't give Zillow stats, especially when it comes to Zestimates, but their actual factual numbers, they do pretty well at. So according to Zillow, the typical home value in the Commonwealth was $239,958 in February of 2023. The median sales price of an existing home in the United States, for comparison, was $359,000 the previous month, per the National Association of Realtors. And the median price of new homes was $427,000. The Census Bureau and Department of Housing and Urban Development reported this. Now, of course, how much you pay for monthly housing is going to depend on what kind of housing you actually need and where it's located. Take, for instance, if you're moving to the Philadelphia area, your cost of living is going to be much more expensive than it would in the Harrisburg area. So that's just a thing to keep in mind. So here are the median monthly rent payments and mortgage costs based off the US Census in 2021. The median monthly mortgage cost is right around $1,500 a month. The median studio rent is around $878, 1-bedroom rent around $872, 2-bedroom a little over $1,000, 3-bedroom a little over $1,100. The median gross rent is right around $1,036. Now, Pennsylvania has a sales tax of 6%. The property tax is about 1.36 on an average. It's going to range in between 0.87 and 2.45. depending where you are in Pennsylvania. Now, this is versus the national average, which is at 0.99. Now, for more statistics on the information I just gave you, reference SoFi.com, SmartAsset.com for information on property taxes. Now, there are some exemptions in Pennsylvania, such as the Farmstead Exemption, PA Rent Rebate Program, and also the Clean and Green Program, which if you have more than 10 acres, you can qualify for that. More information you can find on pa.gov, search for property tax relief. Now, you can also reference numerous videos of ours, including the most recent video, which we go into further detail about cost of living based on salary. All right, next we're going to go into utility cost, but I just wanted to make one note here real quick. If you're finding this information useful and you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can find all of our information in the description below, because Josh and I and the rest of the team here at the Living in Central PA team want to help you make a smooth move to the area. Let's talk utility costs. The average residential electric rate here in PA is about 18.11 cents per kilowatt hour, which is actually lower than some of our neighboring states like New York and Massachusetts. So on average, Pennsylvania residents spend about $211 a month on electricity. That adds up to about $2,500 per year. Now, this is going to depend on what kind of electricity you're using, of course, what kind of heating you have, how old your system is, your air conditioning costs. I know in my case, $211 per month is a really good month. When it comes to the summertime, my bills can range about $500. Now, the good thing is I'm just getting my new air conditioner installed next month, so I'm hoping this year is a lot less. Next is going to be gas. The Pennsylvania natural gas residential price is at a current level of 12.29 MMBTU, which is actually down from 15.5 last month and down from 16.99 a year ago. Natural gas bill in the wintertime will run you about $101. That's what mine does. I have a single family home with 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So that's about what I pay in natural gas costs. Cable and internet, the average is 108. I gotta laugh about that a little bit. Depends on what kind of channels you like to have. But if you're looking at just internet and basic cable, that's about right. Water, on average, is about $31, unless your family likes to take a lot of showers. In my case, mine runs me about $80 per month.
Number 2 is going to be job opportunities. Let's talk about what the job market is like in Pennsylvania. The state and federal government actually employ a lot of the residents. In the private sector, businesses such as the Hershey Company, Rite Aid, D&H Distributing provide a lot of local jobs as well. The healthcare and technology industries are big in Pennsylvania, and they've added a lot of service-related positions to the job market. There's also jobs in education, trucking, and the nursing industry. A quick pointer, if you're looking for a field that may be easier to find a position in, look for a job that has a large number of openings per year. Some of the most in-demand jobs in Pennsylvania based on annual openings include registered nurses, that's about 5,000 annual openings, nursing assistants, almost 3,000 annual openings, truck drivers, 2,000 annual openings, that's tractor trailer truck drivers, accountants and auditors, over 2,000 annual openings, that's a popular field, and general maintenance and repair workers, also about 2,000 annual openings. However, annual openings are not the only number to consider. You should also look at jobs that have the highest predicted increase between, let's say, 2014 and 2024. We'll give it 10 years. For example, occupational therapy assistants has been up over 33%, that increase. Nurse practitioners, 28% increase. Again, the nursing and healthcare fields. Physical therapists, 28% increase. Personal finance advisors, over a 27% increase there. Home health aides, over 25% increase. Biomedical engineers, about 24% increase. And web developers and industrial machine mechanics, both over 21% increase. So you can see if those stats above don't reflect your current career or one that you might aspire to enter, there is no need to worry. There are plenty more fields and statistics that may not have been represented there. But needless to say, there are many fields in many various types of professions that one could excel at in the state of Pennsylvania. Let's bring it back to Harrisburg for a second. Talk about the job market here. So college grads and young professionals will find Harrisburg particularly appealing for a wide variety of reasons. One being that almost 50% of young people are making over $35,000 a year in Harrisburg. That's not terrible. While the earnings depend on where you work and what specific field you're in, Harrisburg has plenty more to offer. And these rankings do not lie. You can cross-reference us on this. Harrisburg is also just a great place to live for other reasons. There's a lot of amenities, there's low unemployment rates, affordable housing, and a lot of fun things to do. Obviously, the history and the culture, being one of the oldest cities in the entire state. So there will be plenty to do on your days off, in addition to having so many options in terms of professional endeavors. Harrisburg is also really well located, very centrally located in the Northeast. So you're close to cities like Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore. If you did want to work in those cities, we have a great regional rail transit system that will be able to accommodate you, and that's used by many thousands of people every morning and afternoon commute. So from job openings to wage growth and all different sorts of professional opportunities, Harrisburg is a place that should be on your radar. I will mention as well that for the retiree community, we will remind you that Harrisburg was recently named the #1 best place to retire in the country. Yes, the #1 best place to retire in the country, right here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, my hometown. But the accolades don't stop there. There's all sorts of great things going on. There's new development happening. 2nd Street is a lot of fun. It's right by the Capitol. So if you're into political science, or you want a career in politics or as a lobbyist, Harrisburg's the place to be. Between Philadelphia and Harrisburg, those are your go-to cities here. So Harrisburg is among the top 10 places to work as a nurse in the country. It's 9th in the country for having the highest paid jobs, 6th in the country as the best place for young adults to find their way and make their wealth, and it's in the top 10 cities nationally for first-time home buyers. And we think out of all the wonderful locations throughout Pennsylvania, Harrisburg is the best place to live. Obviously, I'm biased, but we just gave you a number of very unbiased statistics on why. We certainly stand behind that. Now, like I said before, we are primarily experts in the central and south central Pennsylvania area, but with a statewide scope, our brokerage has connections all throughout the state, and we can help you whether you're coming here to Harrisburg or Philadelphia or Pittsburgh.
The third thing you need to know before moving to Pennsylvania is going to be the climate, the weather. If you've seen any of our other videos, especially our pros and cons videos, we talk about this in great detail. One thing I love about Pennsylvania is that we experience all 4 seasons here. Now, if you're moving from the south, southwest, even the west, you might have a little shock moving to Pennsylvania. But if you're moving from the northeast, you'll feel right at home. All right, let's go over the weather throughout the state of Pennsylvania. We're going to start off on the eastern side, around the Philadelphia area. Now, summer's going to be hot and humid. Temperatures are going to be right around the 80s to 90s. Residents can expect occasional heat waves, prompting the need for air conditioning and outdoor activities to beat the summer heat. Or on some occasions, this is going to last the whole entire summer. Now, central Pennsylvania is going to be pretty similar in the summer as well. That's going to range in the 80s to 90 degrees. You're going to have heat waves throughout the year. Winters, they're going to be cold, with temperatures ranging from 20s to 30s. They can even get as low as the teens and maybe negatives. Now, over the past couple of years, we have seen very mild winters. This year, I think we got up to about 10 inches of snow. Last year was only like 2 or 3 inches, which was great. I'm not much of a winter person. I do enjoy it. A couple snow showers here and there, and then I'm done. I'm ready for spring. So over the past couple of years, we've actually got to 70 degrees in March. Here in February, we're at the end of February right now, and we just hit the 60s a couple days ago. I think we're at like 55 right now, so very mild winters lately. All right, so like I said, the central part of the state, Harrisburg, Carlisle metro area where we're at, is going to be very similar to the Philadelphia area. So it really starts changing once you hit the higher elevations to the west of Harrisburg. So let's talk about the Pittsburgh area. That's going to be in the western part of the state. So summers here are going to be a little bit lower in temperature, around the 70s to 90s Fahrenheit. Occasional thunderstorms, that's going to be true for most of the state. Winters are going to be a little bit colder than the east, around the 20s and 30s. Snowfall is going to be a little bit more in this region, the same with the northern region. So the northern region is going to be like the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area. That's going to be very similar to the Pittsburgh area, 70s and 80s in the summertime, teens to 30s in the wintertime.
Okay, next on our list is geography. All about where is Pennsylvania located on the map? What are the natural landscapes and natural resources that make up Pennsylvania, and how does its geographical location affect those elements and the quality of life? Pennsylvania boasts a diverse geography, quite honestly, that encompasses mountains, valleys like the Susquehanna Valley where we live, and Cumberland Valley, rivers, and urban areas. So you've got a little bit of everything. And let's say from Harrisburg to Philadelphia, you're only a couple hours away, and Reading, Allentown, you know, all very close. So there's city centers close, separated by rural landscape, a lot of beautiful farmland and rolling pastures here in Pennsylvania. So let's break this down into regions. Let's start with Eastern Pennsylvania. So the first thing I think about when I think about Eastern Pennsylvania is Philadelphia, obviously. That is the state's largest city. I went to college there, I went to Temple University and lived in the city for a while and had an amazing experience there. If you are thinking of moving to the Philadelphia area, I have several friends that are realtors in the city, and there is so much going on there. There's so much new development, so many incredible neighborhoods. Just call and ask if you have any questions. The Eastern region, Eastern Pennsylvania region, also comprises of the Delaware Valley and the Lehigh Valley. Again, here in Central Pennsylvania, you've got the Susquehanna Valley, the Cumberland Valley. Eastern PA, you've got the Delaware Valley and the Lehigh Valley. Again, a mix of urban, suburban, and rural landscapes will make up Eastern Pennsylvania. Moving west into Central Pennsylvania, of course, that's home to our beloved Harrisburg, the state's capital. It's known for those rolling hills, that farmland. Again, the Susquehanna River and the valley. Let's go to Western Pennsylvania. Big city there is going to be Pittsburgh, like Aaron talked about. This is has been a major industrial and cultural hub for many, many years. The western part of the state encompasses the Appalachian Plateau and the Ohio River Basin. Of course, Western Pennsylvania borders Ohio. And this part of the state is characterized by hills and rivers and a mix of urban and rural areas, and of course the mountain ranges that cut through Pittsburgh. Moving up to northern Pennsylvania, also known for its mountainous terrain, including part of that, the Appalachian Mountains. There's vast forests there and lakes, natural beauty associated with those. There's cities like Scranton and Wilkes-Barre that were mentioned before, and they're pretty prominent in this region. Let's talk a little bit more about the Appalachian Mountains because they do bring a lot of tourism, our natural resources that we really, really enjoy. So, of course, the Allegheny Mountains run through the western and central parts of the state, and the Appalachian Mountains are more eastern. The prominent peaks include Mount Davis, which is the highest point in the entire state. So if you're a hiking enthusiast or an outdoors person, Mount Davis would be a fun hike for you, taking you to the highest point in the entire state of Pennsylvania. We talk about our rivers all the time. Great source of pride here, our beloved Susquehanna. Flows through central Pennsylvania, providing a vital waterway for us, our families, and for our communities. Delaware River, of course, that forms the eastern border with New Jersey and Delaware over towards Philadelphia. The Great Appalachian Valley runs parallel to the Appalachian Mountains and includes the Lebanon Valley and Cumberland Valley. So we have multiple valleys here, kind of shrouded by the mountain. The Lehigh Valley is known for its picturesque landscapes as well. The Allegheny Plateau dominates much of the western Pennsylvania area and is known for its rugged terrain. I mentioned the Great Lakes and reservoirs in the area. Of course, there's Reservoir Park here in Harrisburg. There's Lake Erie, which forms the northwestern border of our state of Pennsylvania. There's Racetown Lake, which is the large reservoir here in central Pennsylvania, which also offers recreational opportunities. And a lot of natural attractions. There's Ricketts Glen State Park, which has a stunning network of waterfalls. Incredible. You have to check out Ricketts Glen on a hike. There's Hawk Mountain Sanctuary, which is a prime location for bird watching, particularly during the migration season, and it's also a favorite hike. A lot of friends of mine are avid hikers, and that's a pretty constant Sunday afternoon activity for them, that Hawk Mountain hike. Of course, there's, again, just some wonderful cities in the state of Pennsylvania. A lot of those we've talked about, and many that we didn't, but of course the primary ones are going to be Philadelphia, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh. Connected with a beautiful array of agricultural landscapes. The state is renowned for its farmland. There's a lot of agriculture coming out of Pennsylvania. We talked about the Farm Show, which is the largest indoor agricultural exhibition in the country. There's a reason for that. Pennsylvania does a lot of agricultural work. They produce a lot of food for not only the rest of the country, but through other parts of the world, and they're known for that, and we're very proud of that here. Lancaster County, again, known for farming culture, for the Amish communities and agricultural practices, and really a beautiful place to visit. Let's talk about climate for a little bit. Based on its geography, Pennsylvania experiences a humid continental climate with 4 distinct seasons. That's one of the reasons that I like living here so much. I really love my winter, fall, and summer and spring. So winters can be cold, as Aaron said. You're going to have snowfall, you're going to have ice, you're going to have freezing rain, very often multiple feet of snow, although we have had some mild winters recently, so I wouldn't consider that a sure thing every winter. Of course, there's going to be variables that affect the climate. Summers are warm and they're humid. They are humid. They're not Florida humid, but it's not that dry California or Nevada heat. It is humid. And so in conclusion, Pennsylvania's geography really is a tapestry of urban and rural areas, mountains and valleys, rivers and lakes. This diversity not only shapes the physical landscape, but also contributes to the state culturally and economically as well. So again, whether you're looking for the city life in Philadelphia or you're into the more rural kind of life, hiking in the serene mountains and those sorts of regions, Pennsylvania offers it all.
All right, so the final thing you should know before moving to Pennsylvania is the fun things to do, the amenities here in the state. Let's dive into some fun and immersive experiences across Pennsylvania. We're going to start in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Here you can visit the Independence National Historic Park, Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, and visit the iconic Liberty Bell. You can visit the Old City, wander through the cobblestone streets lined with historic buildings, trendy boutiques, and art galleries. You can visit the Philadelphia Museum of Art. You can channel your inner Rocky Balboa by running up the Rocky Steps and explore the extensive art collections inside.
Okay, now we're going to jump across the state to western Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh, the Steel City. Let's talk about a few fun things to do in the city of Pittsburgh. There's the Duquesne Incline. Take a scenic ride on the incline for breathtaking views of Pittsburgh's skyline and its three rivers. The Cultural District. There's theaters, art galleries, and wonderful restaurants and a very vibrant downtown area. There's the famous Andy Warhol Museum and the Andy Warhol Bridge, which is that iconic yellow bridge, iron bridge that connects different parts of Pittsburgh to the adjoining suburbs. And of course the museum. Andy Warhol was from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's a lot of outdoor adventures, of course. Some of those I had mentioned with Ricketts Glen and of course the Appalachian Trail. But being that it's surrounded by mountains, there's a lot of outdoor activities. In the winter months, there's the Pocono Mountains, where you can hit the slopes for skiing or snowboarding. And of course, in the summer, there's the beautiful lakes up there in the Poconos. We've got some awesome amusement parks in Pennsylvania, most of which you've probably heard of. Let's start with Hershey Park. I can probably guess that wherever you are in the country, you've heard of Hershey Park. If not the park, then Hershey Chocolate. Of course, the park was built by Milton Hershey, the chocolatier. And of course, every year, many, many thousands of people from all over the world come to the park to enjoy the awesome rides and entertainment. There's Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster, which is perfect for families. It offers a wide range of rides and shows, and particularly geared for younger children. In terms of the types of shows and, fantasy sort of shows and fairy tale sorts of things like that. Wonderful. There's also Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom in the Allentown area. And I don't even know if they have Dorney Parks in other parts of the country. I think that's just a one-stop location there. There's some great parks and amusements beyond those that I mentioned, as well as town fairs and cultural events, parades and musical events from all parts of our great state. There's also a great amount of historical relevance. We've talked so much of the historical relevance between Harrisburg and the founding fathers in Philadelphia, Declaration of Independence, of course the history of the steel industry in Pittsburgh and the heavy industry that's made its way through those regions, and coal manufacturing and the railroad system, of course. But a lot of great history here, a lot of great things to do, a great affordable way of living with good job opportunities and a comfortable cost of living. Now, whether you're moving now or 6 months from now, we hope this information was useful for you, and we hope that you pick up the phone and call us here at the Living in Central PA team if you do decide that Pennsylvania is going to be your next home. If you liked what you saw here today, make sure to subscribe to our videos, hit that like button, leave us a comment. We love to hear your feedback. And if you do subscribe, you'll be the first to hear about all the great real estate news coming out of our Keystone State here in central Pennsylvania. So that'll wrap up today's segment, and we hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, these 5 considerations are not the only things that you're going to be thinking about when you're moving to Pennsylvania, but we thought that they were incredibly important and just good reminders as you mentally prepare yourself for your move here to Pennsylvania. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to Aaron or myself here at the Living in Central PA team. Call us, email, text, or even set up a live Zoom chat so we can help you make that smooth move to the area. On behalf of myself and Aaron, we thank you, and
we'll see you next time.